Hey y'all, and welcome to Brawl. My name is Brian, and Mike Lawler from New York absolutely wrecks this Democrat so hard at this CNN town hall that they had to cut to commercial. Let's dive in.
I just want to say you're right to be concerned about Elon Musk because he's an unelected billionaire who has a tremendous amount of influence, and it's not the same as civilian employees that other agencies have had. When he was asked about it, they said he wasn't even in charge of DOGE. They tried to hide the ball. If he is finding all of this waste, fraud, and abuse, come before Congress, lay it out, not through a series of tweets, not through these unverified reports that he's putting out. And it's very peculiar how, at the same time, 7,000 Social Security employees are fired, 6,000 from the Veterans Administration are fired. If he has found all of this waste, fraud, and abuse, we don't want that either. But what we're talking about is burning down the house instead of taking. I'm still talking, please.
Is there one thing you agree with?
What we're talking about is burning down the house instead of taking out the garbage. There is waste in the federal government. All of us would like to see that go so that we can help the people.
One thing of waste.
Mr. Lawler, can you please let me finish my? Can you let me finish my conversation? And I'm going to finish.
Okay.
And I'm going to finish.
Find one thing of waste that you disagree with.
What is your question?
Can you identify one thing of waste that they have found that you actually agree with, that it should be eliminated?
Well, today. I don't know if it was verified or not, but they said that people took advantage of the unemployment system. Anyone who breaks the law and steals federal dollars should be prosecuted.
And the only way to get that information is to actually analyze the data.
And we have processes and policies to do that. But for one person to make those decisions, everyone should have a level of concern by that.
Respectfully, in order to actually uncover that, you need to analyze the data. They have people that are career employees of each department.
Who are they?
Each department
Who are
that are
they?
working as part of this entire Department of Government Efficiency. And the bottom line here is
Who are they?
You're talking about uncovering the fraud.
Who are they?
What exactly has been uncovered under the Biden administration? They're career employees.
Who are they?
I know you think this is like some big stunt, but the fact is,
who are they?
You're talking about career employees that are part of each department that are working with the Department of Government Efficiency to uncover the information. So you say you support the uncovering of the unemployment fraud. Well, how do you think they got that information?
Do you have a list?
Do you know how they got the information?
I'm not sure if the Republican conference got a list of the employees at DOGE because we didn't. So that information has not been availed to us. So if there are employees, career federal employees, who are working within the system to find this information, we'd love for you to share that with us.
But the bottom line is you should be more concerned about the amount of fraud that has already been uncovered. When you're talking about Small Business Administration giving out $300 million of loans that have not been paid back using Social Security numbers that are fraudulent, that is a problem. And if you don't think that's a problem, please let everybody know.
So we are going to squeeze in a quick break and we'll be right back.
That is the textbook definition of you've won the argument on the internet because CNN had to cut to a commercial in the middle of a town hall. This is a Democrat throwing a fit here, and the body language shows it. She knows she's on the back foot. She knows that there's that much waste in our federal government, and she knows that Elon Musk is doing a good job, but she has to project otherwise. In other words, this is a manager at your local fast food restaurant who's been mismanaging his entire project, and finally corporate has to come in and confront this manager, not only with the fact that, hey, by the way, here's the entire list of what you've been doing wrong. Here's your own employees telling you that you suck at your job. Okay? That is the situation that's going on in this town hall, and of the two Democrats that are on that stage, the other one is not backing up the female Democrat, which, by the way, we need to back up and look at this from a broader perspective. She is all in white or off-white, whereas everyone else is in either black, gray, or blue color, which means that they're supposed to fade into the background. CNN quite literally wanted this Democrat lady to be in the spotlight. Well, guess what? She's under the spotlight now, and it's almost peak comedy. You have to have popcorn in order to listen to this nonsense. Because like I said, this is a manager at a failing fast food chain, and the fast food chain corporate headquarters is coming in with the receipts telling this lady, you suck at your job. And they're about to fire her. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party and the voter base of these people, rich white liberals by the way, and their absolutely moronic children, keep on electing these kind of people in order to feel better about themselves because these people care more about placating the feelings of these rich white liberals rather than actually doing their jobs. They are a poor steward of taxpayer money. That's the whole point and purpose of Elon Musk coming on board in the Trump administration. It's not just because of the defense contracts, ladies and gentlemen, which if you brought that up, that's an honest conversation to have about Elon Musk. And instead, this dude is calling out all of the problems, all of the issues of USAID, which by the way has basically been the foundational arm piece of the CIA. USAID has been more interested in regime change in nations you probably can't place on a map. I love geography, and I probably haven't heard of these places. And that's where they're giving their money. And furthermore, the funniest part about this whole system is that the fact that USAID is basically a kickback to Democrat friends and family members. I have been talking about the ways that people make money in politics. You can do it through book tours, you can make your own charity organizations and then, steal from it, like the entire Clinton Foundation. That's exactly what happened in their case. Or you can trade stocks, which is basically you give all of your money over to a third-party candidate and say, hey, pay attention to who gets the defense contracts. Wink, wink. That's how Nancy Pelosi and Dan Crenshaw, a Republican, that's how they make their money. And in this case, USAID has apparently had so many fingers in so many pies that Democrats and their best friends, sisters, brothers, cousins, in-laws, former roommate can get extra money from USAID by basically saying, we're a charity organization. I thought the left didn't believe in charity. This is a whole lot of nonsense. And folks, like I said to begin with, you know you won an internet argument when either they're calling you terrible names or they cut to a commercial. CNN lives to do one thing, and that's make sure that rich white liberals have their little jimmies tickled. Okay? That's what they do. That is the whole point and purpose of their entire organization. They don't care about actually showing the news. That's why there is another Democrat congressman who is in this situation basically sitting on the back foot and not only letting this woman absolutely make a fool of herself, but reveal the entire game, and it's why he's not stopping Mike Lawler for a moment, because he has enough integrity. By the way, again, this is Derek Tran. That's not the name of this female representative here. I do not want to give her any more airtime than I possibly can because I put her somehow beneath people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett. That's a low level right there. And this sort of nonsense is the thing that Democrats want to hear. But it's not the truth. It is not based on reality. It is not based on anything that is real. These people live in their own fantasy land, and at a certain point you just have to laugh at it because if you don't, you're going to cry. Mike Lawler is out here calling this nonsense out because there is indeed waste, fraud, and abuse in our federal government. We're finding billions of dollars approaching $1 trillion at this point, and we haven't even gotten to the military yet. This is the amount of money that Democrats are quite literally taking from the federal system, enriching their friends, and getting kickbacks. This is the kind of system that's a sandcastle that is just begging to be toppled over by a kid. And you know what? At this point, it's time to admit the sandcastle that they have created is disgusting, needs to be pushed over. We need to build something better. That's what DOGE is promising to do. That's what Mike Lawler is calling out. And there is even another Democrat on CNN not bothering to lift a finger to defend this woman's insane diatribe. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.